Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So today I have a firewood order, so I'm taking the rest of the wood that's in the trailer, throwing it in the back of the truck, then taking some from that pile, from the old log pile we had over there. There's still some split in that section, so I'm gonna load up the truck, and then today we're gonna work on putting the winch back in the quad, and hopefully it goes in straight and does better. And we're also going to level the sawmill out. That way I can start milling some boards, because the place where my wife works, they do a lot of things for the elders in the community, and they need lumber. That way they can make some garden boxes with the elders, and just something cool for them to do. So I'm going to donate a bunch of lumber to them. So I need to get that done, get the lumber ready for them. Not sure how much they need, but gonna make sure they have plenty. So anyways, let's get to loading. As you can see, we are down at the mill. Gonna go ahead and start leveling her out on here. All right, that's this side leveled off. Now to do the other side, and then make sure they're all level in between both rails. So yeah, this is a long process. I took a little bit of a break, went up to the house, but yeah, I'm excited to have this level and be able to use it way more. Leave some suggestions below on what you guys would like to see me build, besides a, you know, better stand for the sawmill and, you know, a roof to go over it. Any other suggestions? Yeah, go ahead, make them now. Well, the mill is all nicely even, leveled out. We can finally do projects. I also had to cut some holes for the log stops, and after I did that, still made sure it was all level. So we're good on that. I'm gonna use that board to practice and make sure it's, you know, that the sawmill's actually doing what it's supposed to do and that I did the right job. But for now, it's time to try and get the winch cable back in. I hope this goes well. Well, the sawmill's still level, but the boards are still coming out wavy. If you noticed, I was tightening the tension on it to see if that straightened out, and it seemed to work. So I'm just gonna keep playing with it until I can figure it out. Maybe swap the blade, I'm not too sure yet, but you know, with practice comes perfect eventually. Obviously, I'm not selling these boards, I'm donating them. And then all this pile will be firewood or kindling. I have no idea yet, but yeah, it's super nice to work with the sawmill, but it would be nice to have an easier way to get the logs on there. But hey, it is what it is. I'm the equipment for a reason, so I will see you guys in a minute. Apparently, I might be a bit of an idiot. So my wife informed me that the live edge I milled last year would be good to use. So I made those for, I guess no reason, but for practice. So still worth it, but I just feel silly right now. Anyways, have another log to do, so let's get right into it. Sawmill is still level, but some of these boards are still coming out wavy, so I don't know if it's a mix because these are dirty logs, so the blade is dulling out. So probably sometime this weekend I'll go ahead and replace that blade, and we'll go ahead and see if that's the cause, is just a dull blade, and we'll mill up some more logs. Other than that, I mean, what we have is looking okay. I'm not particularly thrilled with it, but you know, it'll do the job it needs to do. It'll be getting donated for elders to make their own little planter boxes, so by no means did it have to be perfect. It could have just been windboard or, you know, whatever, but I'm glad I get this practice. They wanted to pay me, but I said no because, you know, this is practice for me. But as you can see, I have one board here, and from top view it looks okay, right? Now look at it. This was the last board and it's wavy, so I'm wondering if it's my speed that's the issue, because again, sawmill still level and these boards aren't nearly as wavy. So I've been tightening the tension because I think that was an issue too, that I didn't, you know, set correctly. So I'm playing with that, and like I said, swap out the blades and play with it some more. It's all a learning curve for me, so it is what it is. I ain't gonna be perfect the first time around, but I sure as hell will get better at it. So anyways, hope you guys had a great week, and I will see you in the next one.